live on my end, but I don't
Yeah, I
know.
know it says it's live there, but that's not. Oh, it says we're going live. Okay, well, we should be live then. I do this every time. It takes a while for it to get going. All right, there it is. Let me come back.
I can look
Yeah,
on YouTube.
yeah, we're live. I see it now. Yeah,
Okay.
so why is it? I'm not seeing myself here. Where is it? Try this again.
Yeah, we're talking. I can see myself.
Okay, yeah, I've got to be able to see the chat, so I'm gonna
We're
try that.
live.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
tech wizards.
uh-huh. Why is it not showing up here?
Yeah.
Hold on just a second. I need to
Everybody's
be able to
seeing
see
it
my live
looking
chat.
silly.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so
Okay.
I had that to deal with. I woke up before 6 o'clock this morning, gave myself plenty of time, and I have this little puppy that needs to be dealt with. Anyways, we're back. So yeah, I'm doing pretty good. And I, how about you?
I'm doing good. Yeah. Sunday. Mostly a relaxing day today, so that was good. Yep.
All right, that's good. So before we get started on our topic today about learning disabilities, um, I would like to commend you on a video that you did. You put on Rumble with Ashala Yardley. Love her, by the way. She's inspired me. And of course, Janine Morajo, who I have a
Yeah.
debt of gratitude to for helping me get my start on YouTube and with tarot. But the topic of your conversation was actually, I'm going to let you describe it. Could you do that?
It's been about a month ago, but I feel like we talked about a lot of different things. Community was one, dysfunction, perception. There was something in there though that you wanted to bring up in particular. We had a pretty long conversation. It was
Yeah,
really
it was the
good
first, it was
and
about the first
beautiful.
15 or 20 minutes of the conversation that I was most interested in. Yeah,
So tell me what part
okay, yeah,
that you
so it was
wanted to talk about.
it was the understanding that um we've all at some in past lives been
Oh,
a part of the darkness. Yeah.
yeah. Yep.
Um
All of us have. And we're now in the process of bringing up all that karma. So all that karma is coming up, and some people are choosing to play the dark again. Some people are choosing to stay in the light. Some people are transmuting it, but we're moving, in my opinion, from what I've been getting, from a learning universe to a being universe. So we have to get through all the learning karma that we've had, and it's been pretty ugly, I'll say. But it also is very, very necessary. And all of us old souls have had at least one or two really negative lifetimes where we've been the bad guy, and we contract that. So even the people, like, there's a lot of stuff going on with people right now. There's one person that's contracted to be a bad guy and one that's contracted to be a good guy.
mhm.
And they're playing out the betrayal and victimhood and worthiness stuff right now. All that stuff's coming to the surface.
Yeah, I actually had some insight. This was about 6 or 8 months ago, and this doesn't happen to me very often. But I was in a deep meditative state, and I suddenly saw myself as a venerable old abbot of a major temple right here in this town, and
Mhm.
uh, and when I what that it was a past life, I believe that I was experiencing or seeing. And I was a very dark, evil individual at that time. And it also made me understand how I got brought to this location. I bounced around all over Thailand for a couple of years looking for a place to to settle, and I got hired at a school here. Ended up teaching at that school for nearly 12 years, and
Wow.
in that time, I had close to 900 students every year, sometimes over 900 students. So 11 years times 900, that's a lot of little individual souls, that I had coming through me. And I always, when we're talking grades 1 through 6, and
Hmm.
when you have a teacher at that age, I'll be in those children's memories for the rest of their lives, a lot of them. And I instilled a
Yeah.
lot of my values in them, and I felt like I was giving back. I was trying to, that was my way of paying back for maybe some of the damage I'd done in a prior lifetime. But yeah, that came through to me pretty clear. Um, yeah, and I just wanted to say that I don't know. It seems like there's so much hatred and anger in the truther community, and I think it's time to grow beyond that. It's we have to get to an understanding that you can't have light without darkness. I've heard people say that once we get through the Great Awakening and the Ascension, there's going to be no more evil on Earth. That can't be, right?
Yeah, there'll be contrast, but we'll be able to actually see what it is, I think, and decide if we want to experience it. It'll almost be like we're in the Akash, almost like we're making our choices as if we would have, like, I remember when I had an experience where I remember coming out of source and making that contract before I came and got incarnated. And that was like the most amazing experience that I can ever remember. But it was given to me later. But I think we'll have that experience as we go through our process of life in the future. Like we'll be choosing what we're doing all day long and knowing what we're choosing, like being more aware of it because the veil is gone.
Right. So, anyways, I just wanted to say thank you for talking about that topic, and I put a link to that Rumble video in the chat.
Okay.
And I want to mention another video. I haven't added it to the chat or to the, I'm sorry, in the description. And another one was by Megan Rose, and the title of her video was something like "We're All Evil" or We've all been evil" or something like that. Anyways, I just think it's something that we need to grow past anger and hatred and crying for vengeance and things like that. Um, those who have done evil in this world in this lifetime will be dealt with. We don't have to do that. We're not the executioners here.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
anyways, I want to thank you for bringing up that topic. I've been thinking this for years, and I've been afraid to talk about it because of the backlash that I would get. It sounds like I'm defending evil or something. I'm not. I recognize it. I mean, after all, who created Satan? Who created the devil? Who created evil? The source of all, creation did. All right, so
Well, yeah,
go
we're
ahead.
all one in the end, all of
Right,
us. Yeah.
right. Okay. I just wanted to bring up that topic. That was something that was very dear to me, and yeah, it's good to hear I people starting to talk about it now. All right, so our main topic today, before we get to questions from our viewers, and I have a hard time reading the chat. I've got problems with my eyes, and I'm dyslexic, which means I read really slowly. And that's what we're going to talk about here. Um, and the reason we're talking about it is you had me as a guest on your show. We recorded a show, and I brought it up just as a part of like who my backstory. And I was a little bit surprised at some of the emails that I got. Scott, you're so brave to talk about your learning disability, to talk about dyslexia. It's like I'm coming out of the closet. It's not like I did something wrong, or there's something wrong with me. I'm different, and it's something I love about myself. I've come to love it. I used to hate it. Um,
I
so
think it's kind of amazing actually, because dyslexic people or people that perceive things slightly differently, a lot of them are the most profound free thinkers that are, out there. So it's a
actually,
big,
calling it a learning disability is incorrect. And what you just said, seeing things differently. That's how I
Mhm.
am. Um, so I forgot what I was gonna where I was going. Anyways, I brought along a little something here. Uh, you can see, I don't know if you can see the date on this, probably not, but it's from 1994. My old home back in Avocado Avenue in Melbourne,
that's fun.
Florida. So in 1994, I was working hard on improving my education. I never went to university, so I was teaching myself, and I would come home from work and read books every day, and everything from science, religion, philosophy, uh, except for math and economics. I never got into those things. Um, and I also had ambitions to be a writer at one point. I was writing poetry at the time, and so I wanted to take a, creative writing course at a local college, Brevard Community College. And when I went to counseling or whatever, like admissions and stuff, I told them that I'm dyslexic, and because maybe a lot of people don't know this, if you got a paper that says you're dyslexic, and when you go to school, whether it's primary school, secondary school, college, you're given special dispensations. Um, one, and it's not a lot really. It's just on tests, and this is all I got on tests. You're you're given twice as much time, and you're given a private room where you can be alone to take the test. That's the only difference that I got. But I had to prove to the school that I was dyslexic. So they asked me if I had the test paper from when I was 7. That was the first time I took my test. And it's kind of funny how they decided that I might have been dyslexic when I went to kindergarten. Excuse me, kindergarten. And it's funny, I remember this too. The teacher said, draw a picture of your family and then write your name in the bottom right hand corner. And so I did that, and I wrote my name, and I spelled it mirror image backwards, TTOCS, even with a capital S. And I that drawing still exists, I think, back home somewhere. But when I saw that as an adult for the first time, it blew my mind just how it's like I'm writing in a mirror. It was weird. And and this was what, 1970, right? And so it was people were just starting to understand what dyslexia was, and they said, okay, let's give them a test. And first they gave me an IQ test because they want to know if you have dyslexia or if you're just slow. And I scored really high on that, like 125. I think the average American for Americans is like 100. So that put me in the like the top 5 percentile. And then I took the test, but I didn't have the paper when I went to the college, so they gave me another test. And my IQ went up by the time I was 30 something, 33, 32, because I got a 127 as far as my IQ on this, and uh, and a percentile rank, 95%. That's how dyslexic I am. So, by the way, nobody gets a, zero score on dyslexia. Everybody starts at some scale on dyslexia, but I'm 95% dyslexic. And I want to read something interesting else. Testing results and cognitive portion. Upon administration of the WJI cognitive portions, Scott obtained a broad cognitive ability standard score of 115. Significant. Okay. Okay. And then it says a significant weakness was noted in the area of processing speed. Was that just means I learn slowly. So I do. It takes me a long time to bring in information, process that information, and then make it part of my knowledge, my having learned it. Um, and this is true even for things like video games. So whenever I like to play video games, whenever I start a new video game, it's trial and error. I just keep playing it, failing, and it takes me like it's a long, slow learning curve for me. But once I get it, I usually excel better than most people. And that's pretty much with everything that I learn. It takes me a long time to learn it, but once I I learn it and I understand it better than most people do, on a deeper level and things like that.
Mhm.
So, anyways, I just want to share that with people that and if you have a child that you suspect is dyslexic, if they're spelling their name backwards, and if they seem really smarter than the other children, then chances are they have dyslexia. Go get them a test and get them this special compensation that they need in school. And one other thing I want to explain my explanation of what dyslexia is, because everybody's like, oh, you read backwards. It's way more than that. Um, And think about it this way. Um, so everybody knows you have two brains. You have a left brain controls your right side of your body. Most people are right-handed. That's logic and mathematics, things like that.
Mhm.
Language, grammar, all those things. And the left side of your brain is creativity, and some would say spirituality as well. That's where
Mhm.
the seat of your spirituality sits. And with most people, they gain information through their eyes or their ears, and it goes to the left side of their brain first, where it's organized and categorized and made it, to make sense. Then, if they're a creative person, they can go and use the right side of the brain to imagine things, right, about it. For a dyslexic, information comes in through the eyes and ears and goes into the right side of the brain, and then it bounces around like a ping pong ball stuck in a room full of mouse traps for a while. It just bounces all over the place, and then it gets transferred over to the left side of the brain, where now it's all been scrambled up, and the left side of the brain has to try to descramble it and make sense of it. So that's my explanation of what dyslexia is. Um, now, when I meant to say, I got these emails, people asking me, Scott, can you talk about this? Because one of them had talked to you about it, honey, and
So,
she told me that you had some insights on maybe, like I gave you like the clinical explanation of it and how I experience it, but maybe you have some insights. Why do some people have this difference of learning and thinking? and understanding than other people?
Well, there's a lot of different reasons, I think, but one of them is self-protection from, you're going to be more sovereign. You're going to have your own ideas. It's going to be easier for you not to get integrated into the system that was here. So that's one part of why you would choose to be dyslexic. And another part of it is it takes you so long because it's ping-ponging around, but you're getting deeper than anybody else is getting either. So you have that advantage. It takes you longer, but you get in deeper. So you're learning at a deeper level.
So for some people who don't understand, what do you mean by I chose to be dyslexic? Because I have to tell you, I cursed dyslexia
Oh, I'm
for
sure.
a good part of my life, especially
Yeah.
I've told the story about when I was 19 years old. I just dropped out of high school. By the way, I got held back in the first grade because of that dyslexia test. So I was a little bit older than the other kids. That made it awkward for me. I was 19 by the time I was in my third year of high school. And this is how bad the school system is, too. Um, in my third year of high school, a counselor pulled me out of class one day and she's like, Scott, um, you've only got enough credits to be a sophomore. You're not even a freshman yet. And and she's like, what are you gonna do about it? And so I'm like, well, I wish you'd explained this to me earlier. I'm gonna drop out and go get a real job. And so that's what I did, and I started, working, and started to get a taste of the adult world, and I saw, oh my God, this is gonna be hell. And I thought about taking myself out. I thought about suicide, and that was when I had a voice speak to me, which took me a long time to figure out was my higher self.
Mhm.
And it was a very simple message. It told me I couldn't do that. And I said, why not? And it said, because you're living in the end times and you need to be here. I think it said, like, I need you to be here. I remember that. I need you to be here in that time
Yeah.
to help go through it. This is why this whole experience for me of losing my job as a teacher and then picking up the tarot cards, which I first did back in the 90s, and getting a YouTube channel and realizing, holy shit, I really am fulfilling that prophecy that was given to me when I was just 19 years old. So I feel like my whole life has come full circle. And, I made that decision to gear my entire life towards this this time that we're in right now. So I didn't pursue a career, I didn't pursue a family, wife, children, all those things because I was always working on my enlightenment and trying to understand more. And
Mhm.
had if we were living in a utopian society today, I'd be pretty pissed off that I wasted all my time in these spiritual pursuits, trying to understand philosophy and religion and everything, when I could have been maybe making money and having a family. So I feel vindicated. Uh,
Yeah.
anyways.
So as far as what you asked about, what do you mean I chose it?
Oh, right, right.
So as far as what I know and what I perceive is that we choose our lifetime. So I don't see time as linear, I see it as circular. So we have a pretty good idea of what we're going to experience, and we contract for that because we want to have certain experiences. And, mine was asthma. So I died on the way to the hospital from asthma. Now I'm back. I chose to come back. But you have those experiences, and it's part of what you want to get out of this lifetime because you want to have certain strengths in this lifetime, especially this one, because it is a really big one. This process of ascension and the whole changing that we're going through. Like everybody I know is changing. Like they're getting more gifts or they're choosing to be one way or another. Like they're choosing their lives. And we're all doing that. And we have the power to do that. but we decide before we come in, okay, I want to have this, this, and this. And now people are breaking some of those contracts
Right.
too, which is really good. Yeah.
Right. I felt like my original contract was very much like my father's was, which my
Mhm.
father was also dyslexic and he struggled. He could never really get a high paying job because of it. Um, and so, I mean, my father had a good life. He raised four kids. He bought a house. He
Mhm.
accomplished a lot. But to me, that was like a mundane existence, and I didn't want that. I thought I was here to be more than just nothing against people who are just fathers and businessmen their whole life, but more than that. So so yeah, really wanted to do something more with my life. So I broke that contract. I didn't just get that job working for some man and taking
Mhm.
care of a family and all that. Oh,
Yeah.
any questions from the audience on this? I guess that's about it. Is there anything else you want to add about
No, I
you
think just don't be afraid to change your contracts or break them if they're not serving you right now. That's been really important. Um, and also a lot of us came in with the intention to assist a lot of people.
right?
And now those people are going from needing assisting to needing to become sovereign. So that whole shakeup is going on too, and it's been kind of painful, but we all have to step into who we are and realize that everything comes from within
Hmm.
because we create our own reality.
And you said you thought you might have some level of dyslexia, right?
Yeah, I definitely superimpose numbers quite a bit. And that got me into trouble like at work because I worked in a grocery store when I was younger and I would be screwing up, with that. But we see things different. And I think that it really does help because you don't always believe everything that's going on outside of you either. Like you're taking the time to actually think about things too and filter them. So you have an automatic filter system.
I can just remember in school, um, the teacher would explain something, or and remember, I wasn't really good at reading, so I did a lot of my learning was just by listening to the teacher. Um, and then it seemed like the other kids just didn't understand it, and I'm like, I remember looking around, being like 3 or 4, and thinking, man, these other kids are really stupid, you know. Uh, and just like and then just all throughout my life meeting people and just wondering why do people not understand things the way I understand them, and why do anyway. So yeah, we
Yeah.
definitely
You were pushed. You had to learn a new way.
yeah.
Yeah.
uh it definitely kind of makes you an outsider. I've always had trouble making friends because people couldn't see things from my perspective, and yeah, and I also, and a friend of mine told me one time is, Scott, stop saying that you're dyslexic. Um, and it's almost like if you know how like if you say I am something, then you're
Yeah.
giving it power. But I can't deny this difference that my brain works, of how my brain works. And it is important, I think, for people to understand where I'm coming from. And part of that is this dyslexia that's a part of me. And it's like I say it because it's hard for me to follow the chat sometimes, and slow for me
Mhm.
to read things. But
It's a prime example of perception. And, one person can be at a party or at school and they hear something totally different than what the person next to them hears. So, or sees something completely different, and it's all about perception. And I think that's what we'll move into, is actually being able to see and not necessarily care that much that somebody sees it differently than we do.
right, right. Yeah, so I guess that's about all I wanted to say. I want to thank the people who emailed me asking me about that. And yeah, I love my dyslexia. As hard as it's made life for me, things like filling out forms and anytime I have to do anything like that, and, um, I didn't get to finish like university. I didn't finish high school. I dropped out, got my GED, my first try, by the way. So that proves that even though I only had like 12 credits in school, I was learning. It just wasn't showing up in the records, like in my report card and stuff. Actually, I had like, I mean, I failed math. I failed all my math classes, but for some reason I excelled in English. And but I would get like a B average, not an A, because I wouldn't do homework and I wouldn't turn in assignments. But when it came time for the test, I would ace the test every time. And teachers couldn't understand. They're like, Scott, you don't study, you don't do your homework, but you ace the tests every time. And it's like, yeah, because that's easy for me. So then yeah, I went and took my GED first time. And that if you pass your GED, that says you've learned everything that you were supposed to learn in high school. So
Right.
d- did that. And yeah, I like I said, it's been hard, but I love that I see the world differently and I understand things sometimes that other people just can't seem to understand.
Mhm. There's a
So I
lot of
guess
that
that's
going on.
I guess
Yeah.
that's all I want to say about that. And I want to thank the people who asked me about it. And I am going to talk about being dyslexic. I don't know if I can say I'm proud of it, but I love my dyslexia. It's really made me different, and it's made me who I am, and I love it. Yeah, Reggie's talking about Leonardo da Vinci, how he wrote in mirror image, and I think he did it as
Mhm.
a way to protect his intellectual property. But I've seen these on Facebook. If you ever seen like a meme on Facebook, that's a paragraph that's mirror image. I can read that just like I'm reading it forward, as well as I can read forward, which is still kind of slow. So I wonder if anybody has any comments on dyslexia. Do you know anyone who's dyslexic? And do you have
I know a
children?
few people, yeah, who are. And the left-handed thing is another thing that was like kind of ridiculed. I
Oh yeah,
remember kids getting like had their hands like hit with rulers and stuff like that
yeah,
happened that
you're old
was
enough to remember that, right? That was
oh
that
yeah.
was the they did it back in the 60s and 70s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
So
not I'm not ambidextrous, but I can do certain things. Like I can throw a frisbee left-handed. And it's it's really interesting. If you're right-handed, try this one time. Like tie your right hand behind your back and go through the day just doing everything with your left hand. You'll find that this creates a connection between your hemispheres. You're forcing your brain to get the two hemispheres to communicate. This will actually improve a lot of things, make you smarter. Uh,
yeah, it does make you smarter.
yeah. All right, so I think we spent enough time on this topic now. And thank you, Matthew, for the super chat. And this is the time when I'd like to open up the or questions from people from the chat. So have you ever done this live, honey?
I think we did last time. I think we did some questions. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I think we did take some
Yeah.
that time.
You had somebody fielding them though.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had some help at the time,
Yeah.
so we'll give it a minute and see. And I'd also like to hear other people's comments on dyslexia. And another thing that came along with that was attention deficit too.
Mhm.
And a lot of people don't understand that you can be easily distracted, but also when you have ADD, you also super focus.
Yeah.
So when I find something that I take an interest in, like when I got into tarot cards, I would spend hours and hours and hours just focusing on it and digesting it, learning it, and other things, you get like blinders on. So, but I didn't get the hyperactivity part. My brain is hyperactive, so that's why I was an insomniac from the time I can remember, as even
Um,
as a little kid. I would lie in bed, unable to sleep for hours because my brain was just going and going and going, trying to figure out what
yep.
this life was all about. Okay, so we got a super chat here. If I can focus my eyes and read it. This is from Summer. She says she had a session with Honey, you. Um, it was amazing. Honey said she would promote my business, and I wanted to see if she received my emails. Or is there anything else I
I
should do?
actually didn't. I don't think I did. Send it again. Send the email again.
Okay, Summer, so I hear that she
Thank
overlooked it.
you.
And thank you for the super chat to get that in there. Um, Now, your questions don't have to be only on dyslexia. Matthew says, let's create a great world. Absolutely, Matthew. Um, by the way, one of the things that I've been doing in order to create my great world, because each one of us, we're the main character in our own story. Okay.
Mhm.
And and recently I've been taking a break from listening to all the pundits, all the truthers, all the seers and channelers out there. Um, Even the ones that I love the most, like Honey and Janine and Beyond Mystic. And the reason I've stopped listening to you, Honey, is because you're showing the world from your perspective
Mhm.
and from your point of view as the main character in your story, and that might be different from mine. And so I don't want to get into other people's realities. I want to create my own reality. And
Yep.
by giving up my sovereignty over my reality and listening to Christian 21 or Honey C or you know what's Jetson White or any of these other people who are getting these information from all these different places, and everybody's got different, if you notice, not everybody, but some people, are totally different from other people's. And you're going, well, so and so said this and this person said that. Well, what is it you're experiencing? What is the
Yeah.
reality you want to live in? And and so I keep it very simple. Um, I need a shelter to live in. I need enough food to eat, and I need friends. And those are the basics, right? And then I'm very happy that way, and not worrying about the future, which I have a problem with. I go through this every once in a while. Like last time you and I did a video together, I had like nearly 100 emails, and I was working from the morning, from the time I woke up until the time I went to bed to get through all those. And then all of a sudden they went away. And I'm like, oh, am I? is my career over as a tarot card reader? Am I gonna have to start worrying about paying the rent next month? But then something happens and it picks back up again, like probably after this show. By the way, if you'd like a private reading with me, you can email me. So anyways, that's something I maybe want to suggest to people. If you're going to all these different sources and you're finding overwhelmed by all these possibilities, and the Seven of Cups comes to mind in my head from the tarot cards. It's this confusion, all these different things. Maybe just put it down for a while.
Mhm.
Um, you can always come back to it, and I do. I I watched your video on Rumble with
Yeah.
Ashala and Janine. So I picked, things that really interest me. Um, but maybe just take a break from it for a while and focus on what you want your life to look like. Like Matthew said, um, create a great world. Don't worry about everybody else's world. Just worry about your world. If you
Yeah.
have means to help somebody in your sphere of influence, then do it. If you need help, ask for it.
Mhm.
That's all.
That's the go within. And I think we kind of learned it at for a little while, like when it was forced upon us in 2020, we went within, but then we went out again and we didn't necessarily we're being forced again because a lot of those relationships are getting all shook up and we're being forced to go within again and look at our decisions and how things played out and be the observer. And we are listening to other people, but not as much. I don't think people are listening as much. They're starting to go within, but that's how you become a sovereign being. Like you have to come be sovereign from the inside out. It doesn't happen from the outside in.
That's right.
So that's, where I'm at with it really.
You mentioned how there seem to be some people have been breaking relationships.
Yep.
Um, During that last Mercury retrograde was a big one for me. Um, I had co-hosts, and Dan was a very good friend of mine, but we had a schism, and it was because of the truther community. It was because of one particular person, and I people started attacking me, and I felt like my friends who should have been loyal to me were not being loyal to me, and
Yeah, it's the season of betrayal right now. That's
really,
the that's what we're in the middle of is betrayal and victimhood. And I think worthiness is all wrapped up in there too. But that's part of the human experience that has to be basically brought up and purged out because we're not going to be doing that anymore. Like we're
mhm,
not going to go through those kind of processes constantly anymore because we're moving into a different kind of a universe. That's what ascension is we're not going to behave the same way and we have to be willing to change.
I'm glad you brought up that term victimhood, because I could have easily started complaining, "Oh, I'm being attacked, and
Yeah.
these people wronged me in this way, and poor me." But that doesn't help. And
No.
uh, and I was feeling sorry for myself. I was feeling, I lost what I thought was a good friend. Actually, looking back at it now, I realize that he wasn't really my friend because he valued me. It was because I have a YouTube channel. And that's something. Anyway, I did a life journey, or like a past life journey work with Tanya, a woman named Tanya, and it was kind of like
Mm.
hypnotism and going back and looking at things that are problem areas for you, and one for me was one thing I took away from it was that I'm enough just by myself. So I keep trying to get these co-hosts to come on, and yes, I do need help reading the chat and fielding questions and things like that. But also when I'm live on YouTube or when I'm making a video on YouTube alone, I don't know, I feel lonely. I feel like I'm better if I have somebody to bounce things off of. But the truth is, I'm enough, and I don't need anybody else to make me better, right?
Right.
And I was trying to, I wasn't accepting that I, I'm okay by myself. And maybe this is like in life, it's like that. Maybe some people out there, a lot of people out there I know are lonely, don't have partners. Um, but you have to be comfortable with being with yourself and knowing that you are enough just on your
Yeah.
own.
And letting go of judging all the little things that you may have done over your lifetime or your past lives or whatever. Letting go of judgment, loving yourself just as you are. Even if you're not excited about when you look in the mirror or whatever it is, we have to learn how to love ourselves. It's really massively important.
Uh, so I'm reading a comment here from Colleen. Maybe you can give some insight on this, and then maybe I can draw some cards on it as well. She says, I would love to know if I have had a past life in Lemuria. Whenever I hear stories about Lemuria or see pictures depicting it, I feel so overwhelmed and start crying as if I long to go home.
Yeah. Just had many, 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 many lifetimes there.
Hmm.
The number that came in was like 30. So she's had a lot. And I feel like it ended in a painful way. This is not comfortable. Being here is not as comfortable,
Well, this is
but
interesting.
she did
The
come for a reason.
first card I got was a Five of Cups. So yeah, there was a lot of pain that she had, uh,
Hmm.
or loss. She suffered a great loss there,
Yeah.
um, as a mother. Um, so I'll show you my
Mhm.
cards here in just a minute. Um,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah. It feels like the whole family.
that, yeah, that's what I was just about to say. So, um, starting off with this high priestess. So this is she also has a very strong contact with those past lives. Um,
Yeah.
but she had suffered great loss as a mother in Lemuria. Her family may have been executed for something like found, like because I all of these great societies from the past, they go through some kind of collapse. So maybe her family, they were part of a royal family or a higher um, aristocracy, and they were maybe overthrown, kind of like what happened
Yeah.
with in
It
Russia.
feels like a war,
Right,
you know,
right.
they're the
And then
first ones that are going to get killed off. Yeah.
and the great loss of life, the whole family, like you said. So oh, I just got overwhelmed by grief just now.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, like your whole family was put to death, and you were forced to watch that. So, wow.
Yeah. So for her to remember that those souls went on and you actually know some of them now, that's important
That's right.
because the soul didn't go. It was just the body that went, but the body has consciousness too, so that is also sad. But as a soul, you live on, and so do they. And you've been in lifetime since then
Mhm.
together, but you still carry that sorrow. So that's what your soul needs to heal is the sorrow. Yep.
Thank you for that, honey. Lynn, thank you very much, Lynn. I'll be seeing
Yeah.
you in a couple of days at during a private reading. Lynn says, I got to take off my glasses. Dr. Ferrari wrote a book on healing healing my kids, and did the therapy which chiropractors do. I would be glad to tell more if you're interested. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought that was a question, going to be a question.
Okay. Yeah, I learned a method from a chiropractor that was pretty amazing. It's chiropractors are really amazing, actually, a lot of them. Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Heath Motley, if you're out there listening, he lives in the Philippines. He's a chiropractor, and he is. By the way, I'd like everybody to go check out his Telegram channel. It's under the name Madonna English, but he's actually the person who does most of the posting there. It's the only Telegram channel that I go to every day because of all the great information he posts there. But if you have a
Mhm.
question, um, Dr. Motley always seems to have an answer there. And he's a chiropractor, and
Yeah.
learned a lot from him. And years and years and years ago, we used to think of chiropractors, they almost used to say like they're not real doctors or something. Yeah, you remember that? Like a long time
Yeah.
ago.
They say that about naturopathic doctors now, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, but they are. And a lot of them
Yeah.
have a doctor degree, a
Yeah,
regular. Yeah.
he's a real doctor. He wrote
Mhm.
science papers and everything. And if you want to know about we can't really talk about it here, but viruses and like what are they? Do they really exist? Like
Right.
when I got sick uh, a while back, and I think this was brought on too by I was doing 3 to 4 readings a day. I was I was buried in my screen all day because I'm I use my phone. It's easier with my eyesight than a computer. So I'm sitting there with my phone up to my face all day doing reading emails and sending emails, and I'm also taking in all these clients. So I'm taking in a lot of their
Energy.
stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
And I hadn't had a major flu in 12 years, and I got really sick. I mean, like there were 3 days where I couldn't stand up. I lost 20 pounds. Uh,
Wow.
but how did I get that? Because I'm isolated, not because anybody told me to, but just because I live with one other person, my partner. I order my food out. I can get everything delivered. Everything I can get, I can get online now. I don't have to go anywhere. So I hardly ever went out. Um, so where did I get this virus from? If I had a flu virus, where did I get it from? I wasn't in contact with anybody. Number one, and my explanation for it is so it'd been 12 years since last time I'd had this purging, and that's what I consider it to be,
Yeah.
a purging. You're breathing air that's full of contaminants, food, water, electromagnetic contaminants. Then there was the psycho spiritual um, energy that I was getting from my clients, and that all had to be released. So the body's like, okay, it's time for you to take a couple of weeks off and get all this. Plus, I lost a lot of weight. I was overweight at the time. It would have been hard for me to lose that 20 pounds just by myself. Uh, but anyways, I think we should question everything. Viruses are
Yeah.
definitely not what we've been told. There's no such thing. Germ theory is was made up to sell the things that go in your arm and to explain why people got sick.
Yeah. Some very big, interesting ideas are not really true.
Yeah.
And that's
Right.
one of them.
Like the one behind me here.
Right.
Uh, that was one of those things that I first started looking into the whole, is the Earth a spinning globe in 2015. And I was a big fan of NASA at that time and the moon
Mm,
landings and all of those things. I grew up on the space coast of Florida. I watched Apollo missions launching from my backyard. One time I watched one launch from a yacht in the sea just 2 miles away. By the way, for people who say rockets aren't real, they're helium balloons or something, that's not true. Trust me, rockets are real. As someone who's been there and I used to do research on these things. Um, but I spent 6 months trying to prove that the Earth was a spinning globe, and I couldn't do it other than with photographs and secondhand stories from other people who claimed to have been there.
mhm.
Um, but that was one of those things that I think my dyslexia really helped me break that illusion that I had, and it was and why so many people have hard time with it.
Yeah,
But
it's kind of crazy. All those paradigms are being shifted and stuff. I saw a little video and I've heard of it already, but I saw a little video and it was basically they were on Google Earth and they went all the way down below this like ice. And it was summer, like there should have been no ice there. And then all of a sudden they found the rover and NASA trucks, all this
oh yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah. And I was like, oh, there's the
Greenland,
island. I've heard of it, but I hadn't seen it yet.
yeah, yeah.
So lots of psyops going on.
But it's not such a simple thing, just say the earth is flat either. There's much more to it than that. We've
No,
talked about
there's a
that.
lot to it. Yeah. There's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and by the way, I don't know, may not be flat, may be on the curvature of something much bigger, and gravity's not doesn't work the way they told us it did.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I've been saying it for about 25 years. Um, you need to be willing to accept that everything that you've ever been taught is a lie. And
Yeah.
uh, and I was saying that before I looked into the flat Earth thing, and that was a hard one for me. So I had to listen to myself. Hey, Scott, you're the one telling people to question everything, and now you've got to question this thing that you hold most dear. And but that's the difference between someone who has the ability to become enlightened and those who don't. You can let go of core beliefs that you hold very dearly to you. They're beliefs that you hold so dearly that to let go of those beliefs destroys who you were at that time. But that's a good thing. You have to destroy who you were to become something better, something more, something
Yep.
truer.
Yeah. Change is the main thing that we have to be ready for because that's the only thing that's kind of constant, really.
That's right. And don't be certain of everything. Uh,
Hmm.
don't hold on to some bit of knowledge with the absolute certainty that this is the absolute truth. This is one of the complaints I have about certain other truthers. They'll make a statement and they'll say this is the truth and it's the only truth and there's no other truth. And when you
Yeah.
do that, when you get these axioms that you hold on to as certainty, that traps you in that belief, in that reality. So
That's,
you have to be more fluid. You have to be able to accept. I can't remember. There's a saying that goes something like, "The epitome of wisdom is the ability to entertain an idea without accepting it." That's where you start.
yep. I have a friend who said, I'm going to start trying things on and seeing how I feel about them.
Right.
And that's a brilliant way to, do it. Just try them on like you try on a pair of pants and see, well, do I feel good in them? Does this make me happy? Are they
As long as
comfortable?
it as long as it
Yeah,
doesn't cause any harm to you or to others around you, then
exactly.
then what's the harm in it, right?
Yep.
Okay, honey. Well, listen, I know you need to be getting to bed soon. Uh,
Yes.
I was really hoping to field more questions from the viewers. I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't get them. They don't have to be in the form of a super chat. So let's wait 5 more minutes. And
Okay.
is there anything I've put your links to your YouTube channel and your website in the description and that Rumble video too. Think people should check that
Yeah,
out.
that's plenty. I mean, I have a Telegram channel too, but it's just my name and channel, basically. So it's not hard to find. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I think we're gonna wrap it up there. This was a
Okay.
nice little talk,
Well, it was
honey.
great to see you. It was
Yeah,
great to
you
see
too.
you. Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time to spend with me.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
hopefully, I would love to have you back. Maybe, maybe we didn't get a lot of questions this time because people weren't ready for it. I would love to. I don't know if it's possible for you, but I would love to meet with you like this once a month. Do you think
Well,
we
why
could
don't
do
we
it?
do that for a couple months and see how it goes?
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, great. So
let's do that.
this is my usual time slot. Well, it's little bit earlier for me, but I can get up early. I don't mind that. Um, so
Yeah,
I would like to make this a usual time slot. Like I thought that question about Lemuria was great. I actually got goosebumps when I looked at my cards on that.
it
Blew me
was
away.
great.
I wasn't expecting uh to get such a clear answer and to have that emotional effect that it had on me. That happens to me sometimes. It's like I could
Yeah.
feel the sadness, and I could almost like see the story playing out there, and it was pretty heavy. Um,
Yeah, the emotions are high right now, and I think we're able to feel other people's stuff right now pretty intensely, actually.
which is another
So,
reason why I withdrew to myself. Um,
mhm.
and I really was. I wasn't doing much on YouTube and I wasn't listening to other people. I really um, felt like I was drawing in
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of that myself. It's really important right now. And considering all of the discord that's going on, it's almost like imperative that we go within. Like it's a
can we
huge
get
process.
can we
Yeah.
stop all of this infighting that's going on?
I think it's part of the energy that's going through, like it has to be brought up to the surface so that it can be finally dealt with. It, and I don't know what else there is. I know there's more, but we have to get rid of this stuff to go through ascension. So, yeah,
You
I
know,
mean,
I'd like to take this opportunity to say, particularly to Christian 21, I never meant to insult you or attack you personally. He heard me say one time in a live that personally, I don't trust people who say they channel information from entities, like galactic beings or archangels and things like that. Now, one reason why I'm more willing to listen to you when you say you channel information because you get it from your higher self. I've had that experience. I know what that's like. Not to the level you are, but that's a totally different thing when you're channeling information from your higher self, okay? Then because these people who are getting this information, and some of it, by the way, is dark and scary. I mean, I got emails from people about because somebody said this or somebody said that, saying, "Scott, is this true that our souls are going to be trapped in this soul trap and or whatever these things are?" Okay, and so I didn't mean to single out certain people, but there are certain people like that do that. Christian's one, Jetson White is another. Megan Rose, who I love, and most of the time I agree with her channelings, but she claims to get it from I don't know Ashtar Command. I can't remember, but I don't know. I'm skeptical about channeling entities. Can you talk
Yeah.
about that?
Well, that was one of the things that I learned not to do at the very beginning. Was to only talk, and you basically say, I will only speak to my higher self, no one else. Because if you don't start out that way, then sometimes you can actually be talking to somebody who's pretending to be your higher self. So you want to make that stipulation, because if somebody's talking to you and they're not your higher self, but you're saying, I will only speak to them, then they're going against universal law. So those are the laws that we're going to honor in the future. And we're honestly, like, we're moving through the frequencies right now, and it feels gross, but it is very important to shed all that stuff so we can keep moving up, because we want to contain more light in our bodies. We want to we want to understand how to manifest our world. And I don't think we're quite there yet. There's some people that are totally doing it, and others that are still struggling because they see things in front of them, but they don't realize that either they manifested them or they agreed to manifest them with their partner, or like the whole town or whatever. But really, we're responsible for our
Yes,
stuff.
that's right.
So
That's right.
yeah,
Even the bad stuff, and
even the bad stuff.
this is something that I've had to deal with, um, because I manifest like crazy. And I have to be careful. So when I go through these dark times, like I did recently, and I start thinking these negative things, like, is my YouTube channel done with? Is Are people going to stop wanting to do readings with me? Because I have to. By the way, this is the only way I have to make money. I can't teach anymore. It's not like I can go get a job at Walmart here in Thailand or something like that. Uh, but yeah, and taking responsibility. Don't blame others who did something bad to you. There's something that you did that manifested that in your life.
Yeah, maybe we agreed to have that fight.
Right.
Maybe we agreed to it and it was going to create something else.
Right.
So instead of blaming, realize that on some level, you said you accepted it,
Mhm.
and you accepted it so that it would morph you into something else. So it would create change.
Right. So
And
it's important.
sometimes it's really painful how that change happens. I
Right.
mean, really painful, but it's important that
Yeah.
we do it.
And forgiveness is also really important.
Mm-hmm.
Once you understand that, then it makes it much easier to forgive people who you feel like have wronged you, and forgive yourself too.
Yeah. Self-forgiveness takes longer. It's
Oh yeah.
easier, like, first you forgive them and then you forgive yourself. But it totally is, all that matters is to get to that point, to get to the forgiveness part. Because otherwise you're carrying around a lot of ugliness, and you're also blaming a being that is part of you. Like, ultimately, we're all part of the same being.
That's right. Yeah, and then having gratitude for the experience too. That's
Right.
another. Be grateful that you were able to have that experience. You came through it. It didn't destroy you. It didn't kill you, and you grew from it. So you should be grateful
Right.
for every bad experience you have. You really should be grateful for it.
Even if it did kill you, like,
Right. Well, true.
because maybe that's what
True.
you asked for.
That's right.
Yeah, which is crazy. It sounds crazy, but really, if you think about it, we're all here experiencing.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
as Jim Morrison said, no one here gets out alive. You know.
right. I think we'll be able to choose it more in the future, but that's, here nor there. We'll figure it out when we get there.
Okay, honey. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream now, and
Okay.
And
Thank
I'll see
you.
you next month, I hope. Same
Yeah, yeah,
time, same channel.
sounds good.
Okay,
Bye, everybody.
bye.